It is Easter Sunday, the 16th of April, 2017. I'm in front of the Unitarian Church in Montreal. I'm just getting started up in my protest against Unitarian Universalist injustices and abuses and hypocrisy, which has been going on for quite some time. And this year, we've actually so far protested every single Sunday in the year. We haven't missed one. There was one where I could have missed because I actually did have something else in particular to do that day, but various circumstances prevented me from doing that other thing, so I decided to continue with the protest. And, one of the issues, but by no means, all of them, by any means, this is actually a comparatively recent development, is protesting against the fact that the Unitarian Universalist Association, based in Boston, which is essentially the headquarters of the Unitarian Universalist religious community in the United States, and to some extent North America and the world, hired its Canadian attorney, Stikeman Elliott Barristers and Solicitors Litigation Lawyer, Maitre Marc-Andre Coulombe, to falsely accuse me of the criminal act of blasphemous libel, illegal bullying that's intended to cover up and even possibly outright deny what Maitre Marc-Andre Coulombe has described as such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape in the arrogant and aggressive cease and desist demand letters that he had me served with in an effort to intimidate me into removing blog posts that actually tell the well-documented truth about Unitarian Universalists who have been charged, tried, and convicted of committing such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. So just outrageous and outrageously hypocritical misuse of Canada's blasphemy law in clergy sex abuse cover-up legal bullying by the Unitarian Universalist Association. That's one of the main things on my agenda these days. So we're pulling out a couple extra picket signs. In my right hand I have a picket sign saying unsafe sect. It's a classic. It's one of the earlier picket sign slogans that I came up with. It dates back to at least May 2000 and actually goes back before that. Pretty sure I introduced that slogan in 1999. Originally it had a question mark after sect, so it was asking is Unitarian Universalism an unsafe sect? It was somewhat of a rhetorical question. There's no question that in various ways the Unitarian Universalist religious community is less than safe. But for various reasons I thought it'd be good to, pose it as a question rather than make it a statement. And that's the way it was for quite a long time. But recently when I actually had to remake the enlarged photocopies to create the sign because the other ones had gotten too worn. I accidentally made it a little too big, basically too big to keep the question mark. So I either had to redo the photocopies or dispense with the question mark and just have the statement unsafe sect. And after thinking about it for not very long, I decided, well, you know what, it's not really a question anymore. It really can be a statement. There's really zero question that in some ways at least the Unitarian Universalist religious community is indeed an unsafe sect. It is unsafe in various ways, certainly in terms of clergy sexual misconduct and the incredibly negligent and effectively complicit manner in which the Unitarian Universalist Association and various individual Unitarian Universalist churches have responded to complaints about Unitarian Universalist clergy sexual misconduct in particular. But then there's, of course, there's non-sexual misconduct as well, which gets even less attention, I think, than clergy sexual misconduct by the UUA. It's essentially dismissed out of hand regularly. Well, so is a good amount of clergy sexual misconduct. But the point being is, if your complaint about a minister is not of a sexual nature, the UUA almost automatically writes it off as being not worth dealing with, kind of thing. And then there's the whole issue of the anti-religious intolerance and bigotry that a segment of the atheist faction of Unitarian Universalism engages in. Basically, I'm not saying that it makes Unitarian Universalist churches extremely dangerous, but the operative word here is safe. And in terms of safety, well, no. In fact, someone, a God-believing person who goes to a Unitarian Universalist church can basically be met with condescension and scorn at best, but can even be met with intolerance and bigotry and so on from the intolerant atheists in the congregation. And that's basically not safety. It's not extremely dangerous, but it's not safe. You're going to church on Sunday. You don't expect to be insulted and abused by atheists, which unfortunately happens quite regularly in Unitarian Universalist churches. It certainly happened to me at the Unitarian Church of Montreal, but I've heard of many, many cases, including comparatively recent ones, of people who are Christian-oriented or otherwise believing in God, being badly treated by atheist Unitarian Universalists. So that's another way in which the Unitarian Universalist religious community is not entirely safe. So that explains that picket sign more than adequately. In my left hand right now it says, "Unitarian Universalist liars bear false witness against me." And it's interesting because that actually covers everything from the earliest stages of this protest, which was a protest beginning with protest against the fact that Reverend Ray Drennan and other other leading members of the Unitarian Church of Montreal had falsely and maliciously labeled an interreligious event that had organized as a cult. This is, one of the most derogatory and indeed defamatory words that one can use to describe, a religious group. And the crazy thing is this was an interreligious event. This was not even a religious group. This was bringing together of a diverse religious group. So by definition, it could not possibly be a cult. But because these intolerant atheists, wanted to discredit this interreligious event, and they wanted to defame it and tarnish its image and so on, they thought it'd be a good idea to label it as a cult, and so that's bearing false witness, and that's from the very earliest stages of this protest, and the Unitarian Universalists have borne false witness against me in numerous other ways over the years, including bringing completely trumped up criminal charges against me based on outright lies in some cases. Coming back to the whole blasphemous libel accusation, well, that's bearing false witness. It's kind of ironic because because essentially the Unitarian Universalist Association hired Maître Marc-André Coulombe to accuse me of not only bearing false witness against the Unitarian Universalist religion, but even outright blaspheming against the Unitarian Universalist religion. The pretext for accusing me of the criminal act of blasphemous libel are the following words. Your unfounded and vicious allegations to the effect that ministers of the association engage in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape are defamatory. And then the demand letter went on to say that these allegedly unfounded and vicious allegations were so defamatory that they pretty good. It's always a great day to be accused of blasphemy. I mean, how many people get to be accused of blasphemy in the 21st century? It's a unique honor and privilege. So getting back to things, so this is the interesting thing though. Maître Coulombe said that my blog posts about Unitarian Universalist pedophiles and rapists were unfounded and vicious. That I was lying about Unitarian Universalists engaging in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape, when in fact they were very, very truthful. They were based on newspaper reports about Unitarian Universalists who'd actually been charged, tried, and convicted of such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape and sentenced to jail terms for their despicable crimes. So nothing at all unfounded about them. And on top of that, they were absolutely not, blasphemous in any way. The only circumstance under which I could actually be guilty of the criminal act of blasphemous libel for criticizing such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers is if such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape were held to be sacred and holy to the Unitarian Universalist religious community. And the last time I checked, that's not the case. Maybe there's some secret doctrine that I don't know about whereby Unitarian Universalists do in fact consider such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape to be sacred and holy to Unitarian Universalism, at least when they're committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers, but it's not a doctrine that I'm aware of. So today so we got a few people showing up here for the Sunday morning service. Haven't seen a whole bunch show up, but there's still time. It's I'm assuming around 10 o'clock or so now. Let's have a look. 10:06. So yeah. So it's 10:06. So there's still a good 25 minutes to go before the sermon officially starts, and people do come late. So we're looking at up to 11 o'clock or so for people to still be arriving. But since I've been here, I've only seen a small handful of people go into the church so far. But who knows? Maybe they had some breakfast or something. I mean, on Easter Sunday, they might do something like that. So they might have actually, a fair number of people might have arrived earlier for a breakfast or something like that. But so far, it's been slim pickings in terms of Unitarian Universalists showing up to the church while I'm protesting. So I don't know, maybe not more than 10 really, and maybe as little as half a dozen or so from what I've seen. I can't say I've been counting. I can't say I've been paying close attention to exactly how many people have shown up, So we got some people on the other side of the road having a look at the picket signs. Got a couple of people coming into the church and one exiting. So we'll continue to circulate here. I have to say I've noticed at least one out-of-province license plate. May or may not be someone coming to the church today, but I think it's California of all places. PC Carmel, or is it PC Carmel, or yeah, P Carmel. So it could be their name, or it could be that they're from Carmel, California. It's another possibility. Whether they're here at the Unitarian Church of Montreal or not, I don't know, but it's a pretty good possibility. Hello?
Yeah. I saw there the night pedophile. There is somebody here?
Not here, no. It's, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'm talking about things happen in the United States.
On the States?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the head office in Boston, the UUA, did hire a lawyer to accuse me of the crime of blasphemous libel because they wanted blog posts to disappear.
Okay, but the is not here.
No.
Oh.
Not that I know of.
I was going to give you this.
Right.
It's a cyber tip to reporting.
I'll take a look. No, believe me, if it was here, I'd have reported it. You know? So no, I'm not talking about something happening locally, but unfortunately,